Hello, my name is Mijung Nam, and today I'll be presenting on the importance of genre-based pedagogy in English medium instruction in Korea. Imagine you're a first-year university student in South Korea, taking a science course taught in English. You may understand the scientific content, but when it comes time to submit your first lab report, you feel uncertain about the structure, content, and academic expectations. This uncertainty stems not merely from linguistic difficulty, but from a lack of familiarity with academic genres. In many Korean universities, English medium instruction (EMI) has expanded significantly. However, students are often expected to produce academic text in English without receiving explicit instruction on how such texts are typically structured and evaluated. This presentation explores the implementation of EMI in Korea higher education, particularly in STEM fields, and investigated how the absence of genre-based instruction affected student learning and assessment. Drawing on principle from language for specific purpose and genre theory, I argue that developing genre awareness is a critical component of academic success in EMI settings. The introduction of EMI in Korean universities began in the early 2000s, driven by national policies aimed at enhancing global competitiveness. Institutions such as Postech and Korea University implemented English-only policies in certain departments, especially within STEM and business disciplines. However, this rapid implementation often occurred with sufficient pedagogical support. Instructors were expected to deliver content in English, yet many lacked trainings in language pedagogy or in supporting student academic literacy. As a result, both instructors and students faced considerable challenges. EMI is most commonly implemented in disciplines such as engineering and business, fields perceived to have a strong international value. These subjects typically involve complex academic genres, including lab reports, research papers, case studies, and technical presentation. According to Highland, genre-based instruction offers students to clarify writing expectations. Korean students at undergraduate level often struggle with producing rhetorically effective academic texts. Jointly found, the Korean students in EMI courses reported significant difficulties understanding lecture contents and expressed lower satisfaction compared to Korean medium instruction, despite having relatively higher levels of English proficiency. This indicates that linguistic fluency alone doesn't ensure academic success. Students must be also equipped with the genre of knowledge necessary to meet disciplinary expectation. What exactly is going wrong for students in EMI classrooms? They're not only struggling with English, they're struggling with how to meet academic expectations in a specific field. And that's where genre theory becomes important. It helps us understand that writing is not just about grammar or vocabulary, but about producing text that follow certain disciplinary norms. Without guidance on those norms, even fluent students can underperform. Genre theory provides a valuable lens through which to examine these issues. From an LSP standpoint, Genre-based instruction is essential because it aligns language learning with the communicative practice required with specific disciplines. Effective LSP instruction integrated both content and language, focusing on how disciplinary knowledge is constructed and conveyed through text. With such instruction, students in EMI programs may face considerable difficulty interpreting and producing academic texts, especially when they are familiar with Anglophone academic norms. English medium instruction in Korea has been investigated through various research approaches. Quantitative studies have used student survey to explore satisfaction and comprehension levels. On the qualitative side, Bradford conducted faculty interviews, revealing a widespread lack of pedagogical training specific to EMI. Additionally, policy-focused research has analyzed course syllabi and identified a systemic absence of genre-based support in EMI curricula. These findings provide a foundation for understanding why genre-based pedagogy is urgently needed in EMI settings. Despite the importance of genre awareness, explicit instruction in academic genres is seldom incorporated into EMI classrooms. Faculty members are typically subject experts rather than trained language educators. Instructors often rely on their tacit knowledge of academic genres and assume that students will acquire these conventions through exposure. As a consequence, students may produce texts that are grammatically accurate yet fail to meet rhetorical or disciplinary expectations. Others may refrain from participating in writing or presentation texts altogether due to uncertainty about academic conventions. The absence of genre-based instruction in EMI settings has consequences for both the learning and assessment. Students may expend significant effort yet receive poor evaluations because their texts do not align with unstated academic norms. Instructors lacking training in genre pedagogy may assess student work based on vague or implicit standards, which can reinforce educational inequities. To address these challenges, I proposed the development of teaching tools that integrated genre awareness into EMI courses. This resource would feature annotated examples of key academic genres such as lab reports, critical essays, and business memo, alongside checklists and guided reflection prompts. Students would analyze the sample using provided checklists and then apply these conventions in their own writing. Peer feedback could be structured around questions. In summary, EMI in Korea has been adopted rapidly, often without sufficient attention to academic literacy development. While EMI aims to promote internationalization, its effectiveness depends on student ability to meet disciplinary communication demands. Genre theory and LSP principles help explain why students struggle and suggest concrete pedagogical strategies. Genre-based instruction enhances students' academic performance and fosters inclusion by making academic expectations visible and teachable. By embedding genre pedagogy in EMI courses, educators can support more equitable and effective learning outcomes for all students. Thank you for listening.